is Loki, and I don't want to talk about this without spoilers, so I'll just turn on the spoiler right now. In case you haven't seen it, please mute the stream or no, actually you have to close the stream because there's pictures here as well. So yeah, once we are done talking spoilers, you can come back and join the discussion for the next topic. But for now,
You don't want anybody to spoil the show on somebody.
sorry,
'Cause
Sean.
I Casey
That's the first time that happened. You
Uh-oh,
yeah,
what happened?
look,
he
so
spoiled now.
I saw the episode, okay, and then I was just browsing through the timeline. I don't even like retweeting people posting spoilers and stuff because other people
Yeah.
can see it, right? So I don't like
Mhm.
that. And in DMs, no one was, no one had watched it, but Sean, retweeted an article that came out announcing the season two, happening, and I thought he
Mhm.
watched it. So I just outright told him they fucking did Kang.
Oh no.
I get emails from very early breaking news. Yeah, so I got an email saying Loki get a season 2. So I just
Wow.
went to the article, I shared the article, and I showed my excitement for it. And I wasn't going through the timeline right because I didn't want to see spoilers. I thought it was safe. In case he just goes, they did it. They did Kang. I'm like, I'm in work right now. I want to kill you so badly.
That's funny.
That's okay. I didn't mind too much. I don't really mind.
I
I've
haven't
been
spoiled
spoiled things.
something for years. I'm
Yeah,
actually pretty
it's
good
okay.
at that, but I'm sorry. Just I thought you saw it.
Oh, it's okay. Don't worry.
He'll get you back.
You knew it was happening, right?
Yeah, well, I thought that was Mephisto, but it didn't happen.
You know what's funny is I saw Mephisto was trending today too, and I'm just like, this guy, he's gonna be trending with every single Marvel show that comes out. I swear. I mean, he trended all the time with WandaVision.
Yeah.
I even think he trended a few times with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I think maybe it's just like a meme though. And then he's trending again today or
Yeah.
earlier today with Loki, and I'm just like, it's gonna be a thing. I think he's just always gonna be trending.
Even
I
if he
think
pops up on screen, we'll not believe it.
No, we'll be like, oh, okay.
I think even Kang referred to himself as as a devil or something like in this episode, or he referenced somebody name dropped the devil. I'm like, Mephisto, but you're Kang.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
So yeah, my first thoughts on it was obviously it was very, very satisfying for me because most of the predictions that we made throughout watching the show came true, unlike WandaVision. This
I
time
don't think
around, it
anyone's
was
predictions for WandaVision came true.
this time around it was awesome because most of us predicted that Kang was gonna show up, and I actually was surprised that they actually kind of opened with that. And well, from the very first shot, they showed the intro, and we hear the Captain America Peggy Carter music. That was awesome. And then we hear different
Mhm.
dialogues from the MCU, and we also hear celebrities from real life. I think we hear Neil deGrasse
Yep.
and Greta Thunberg. How dare
Yeah.
they? That was also there, and there were some different. There was one Indian song that I caught, and it was cool how they navigated the whole. They showed the whole timeline, the sacred timeline brought into existence, and then we the next shot is them climbing to go to the castle or citadel, and obviously when they enter there was a jump scare which got a lot of people.
Hey, y'all. Dude, I was so scared.
That was funny. And obviously that happened, and then right there we meet this guy who's playing Kang, and I was like, wow, they didn't even waste time at all. I thought
No.
we would see him near the end or something, you know. We would probably see another Loki, as a lot of people were predicting, but straight up we saw Kang, and that made me really surprised and happy. So The rest of the episode, I think there should have been some changes that I would have done. Like when the Kang backstory was happening, I would have actually shot a scene, a sequence, or maybe have a full on animation to show if you don't want to shoot something or something like that. Instead of just
Mhm.
a miniature thing. But I thought it was cool. A lot of people seem to not like that there was a lot of talking in this episode, but I thought it was fine. It was, setting up the entire multiverse concept and the timekeepers and the multiversal war. So I think it was important that, it was an exposition dump, but it was necessary, for the stuff that they are planning in the future. So that was really cool, and I really liked it, and the way the end happened, where basically he goes and talks to Mobius, and Mobius doesn't even recognize him, and that was so heartbreaking.
I
But
know.
yeah, and I was like, whoa, shit. He probably reset the entire TVA, or probably ended up in a different timeline. I'm not sure about that, but most likely it would be that he went back to our timeline and it's different. So that's fascinating. So what did you guys think of this episode? Did you like it? Did you love it? Or did you hate it?
I really liked it. I just binged all of Loki yesterday. Um, so and I felt like the first few episodes I really wasn't feeling. Like I watched the first episode like right when it aired. But then I was like, I don't know. I'll wait to see. And because that's what I did with Falcon and the Winter Soldier too. I waited and binged it all. But also, it doesn't help that I feel like with every Marvel show, like every new one, people get progressively worse and worse with spoilers. Um, even like, even people like I have the hashtag spoilers like muted on my timeline, so anything marked with spoilers won't pop up. But then there was people that like didn't hashtag spoilers, so I
Yeah.
was like seeing like throughout the whole show just like random spoilers. But luckily, a lot of it didn't make sense because I wasn't watching the show. But no, yeah, this finale was amazing, and I'm really glad that I didn't get it spoiled. Like this is the one episode, like the last two episodes really are two that I'm glad like I didn't get spoiled for. But no, I think this sets up perfectly for what Marvel is continuing to do with the multiverse, especially, there's so many films coming out in their slate that are heavily driven by the multiverse.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see how Doctor Strange is going to react to like knowing
Yeah.
that the whole like entire Marvel timeline is just like exploding.
Yeah.
But I also think it it's really going to help explain to people that don't understand really what the multiverse is. I feel like they handled that really well in this show. The whole variants are just that character from a different timeline. Really, like they did it so well, and that's how I feel like they're going to explain. If wink wink, Toby and Andrew show up in No Way Home, that's really going to help explain to people like that they're just Spider-Man variants. That's how I feel like they'll handle it.
Yeah, I think we all kind of gasped in fear when Miss Minutes showed up.
Oh yeah,
Like, you're not going to do it again, are you, Kevin Feige? This is sure, but just
Especially not in
the
a Sam Raimi movie.
yeah, and just to give Loki and Sylvie kind of an option. Look, we can put you on a timeline where you beat the Avengers, we kill Thanos, and you're the king. You can live there, and Sylvie can go with you, happily ever after. But yeah, I thought this was an episode just explaining what the multiverse really is. And I love dialogue in movies and shows, especially when it's done right. And here I think it was done right because I felt like I felt like Sylvie and Loki pulling up a chair and sitting in front of this guy I don't know, and I've been a mysterious character the last 5 episodes, and we're sitting down and we're like, "Can you tell us about the multiverse?" And he just tells us. I thought that was cool. I really enjoyed that, and
They were literally in class.
yeah.
yeah, it was cool that way. And Kevin Feige has said you don't necessarily have to watch the Disney Plus shows to understand what's going on the big screen. I think you could probably. I'd watch it. I'd watch these shows. To be honest, I think they're good. But also, if you didn't have the time or didn't want to, you could just YouTube what is the multiverse, and you could watch this scene, and Kang the Conqueror would explain it, and then you probably get the gist of the idea. But yeah, I did like it, and I also love the dynamic between Loki and Sylvie. Because Sylvie's driven by anger and pain. She just wants to kill whoever the TVA is, whoever took her from her childhood, her world, her timeline, and ruined her life. She just wants to kill them. That's her end game here. But Loki is listening to Kang, like Kang saying, "Look, you can kill me, but an evil version of me, an evil variant, will show up, and it will be worse than me, and it will be a multiverse war, and they will try and conquer all. Or you could take over the TVA for me and run it. I'm old. I look older than I'm older than I look, and stuff like that." That was a cool line. And so it's up to you. But Sylvie doesn't necessarily believe him, and she just wants to kill him. And Loki's like, "Hold on a second." But like we've seen Loki turn on people in so many movies and shows. I think Sylvie kind of gets that maybe he's trying to do the same thing. He's trying to, he wants to just lead the TVA. But I never felt that Loki would turn on Sylvie. I think he's kind of grown as a character from episode one, because in episode 1 and 2, he was turning on Mobius, TVA, and Sylvie. But now he's progressed where he has a family, he has people he loves, like Mobius and Sylvie, and he's trying to forgive himself for all his past sins. I just didn't feel like he would turn on them, but Sylvie is still not convinced. I think it was a great line, like, "You can't trust anybody, but I can't be trusted." It's
Yeah.
really, really good stuff. Really enjoyed that, and yeah, and I think John Majors looks like he was having a great time in the role. Just so much fun,
Can you
and
talk
I
about
love,
how he lied to everyone first?
Oh, I know.
yeah,
Just like Andrew
I-
Garfield lied, you know?
Hmm.
Well,
yeah, it's funny.
now I'm
It shows up.
totally sure that he's showing up.
He might have gotten away with it if he was a voice or if his character was CGI,
Yeah.
but he actually showed.
Yeah. He's just sitting right there.
And there's like no makeup, no nothing. It's literally
Yeah.
just him sitting in a robe in a chair. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the eating of the apple, Adam and Eve, forbidden fruit kind of thing. I thought it was a nice little reference, and it added to his performance. I think there's something cool about characters eating food, but also acting, and I think it adds something to it. Yeah, so that's kind of what I like eating the apple.
And it kind of just shows how like lax his character was about the whole thing. He was just like, "Oh yeah, I knew you guys would show up, so let's go talk
Yeah.
while I eat this apple and tell you literally like your whole life, like up to this point, I knew it was gonna happen."
And he's like, he as you said, he knows everything that's happening, but then there gets to a point where he doesn't know what decisions Sylvie and Loki will make, because there's too much crossover with the timelines. It's starting to branch out, and he doesn't know the future. And he's the first time in his life he doesn't know what's going to happen. I thought that was interesting because I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if Sylvie was going to try and kill him. And, she does. She kisses Loki. I never thought the two of them would kiss. Um, but they did, but I don't know if she kissed him because she loves him or has feelings for him, or if she just wanted to turn the tables on him and trick him. But she kills Kang, and there's a bigger, badder Kang on the horizon, I think, and I'm pretty excited to see. And also, Jonathan Majors, he probably won't be acting the same way as he did in this episode. When he comes back again, he'll be a different variant, so he'll be acting in a completely different way, which I think is exciting.
Totally. And the statue of him also had the comic accurate, design for his costume. So that was interesting. And I wonder if they will give him the Doctor Strange type treatment, because even in this episode, it kind of looked like it was the Doctor Strange style costume, right? So that would be cool if, he actually just wears exactly the same thing, but, a little bit muted colors.
Oh yeah, this episode I just think it's really cool, and I hope that like they can incorporate more of like the like older Marvel stuff that wasn't under Disney. I think it would be really cool to see like some of the original X-Men show up in like some crazy timeline. I'm someone that loves those movies, like every
Me
single
too.
one. I love them. So I think like if Halle Berry's Storm showed up somewhere, that would just, oh my god, I would freak out. Or Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, who knows?
Please, I would love that so much.
And
Yeah.
maybe Ralph Boner will get, he might actually be Quicksilver. Who knows, man?
Yeah. One of the new
Please
cast,
redeem Ralph Boner, please.
yeah, one of the new cast members that got overlooked, I think, in Apocalypse was Olivia Munn as
Oh
Psylocke.
my
I
gosh,
think
I
she was great.
agree.
So
I like
they could bring her
the
back.
castings for those movies. Like same with Green Lantern. There's so many great castings in those movies, and I mean most of the movies I feel like are really good. So I would love to see like Michael Fassbender's Magneto show up
Yeah.
somewhere in the MCU. Because you just can't, like Sophie Turner's Jean Grey, just amazing. So I would love to see a continuation or like even just like a small cameo. Like if they are like sprawling through the multiverse, like Doctor Strange is like explaining the multiverse in some way, and they show like glimpses into the other timelines where it's like, oh, here's the X-Men, and no, I think that would be so dope.
Yeah.
I think they did a pretty cool job of portraying that in the opening credits. They had kind of our Marvel Cinematic Universe, and then kind of the camera pans out, and you get to see that's Earth. So that's basically what we've been watching the last 24, 25 movies and shows, is this world. And then it branches out even more, and it's not just Earth. There's other planets, there's a galaxy, there's spaceships going through. So, like, yeah, they could do that. Why not jump over to the other Earth? And that's probably what's happening if Toby's coming into it and if Andrew's coming into it, their worlds, and see the X-Men world come back. Would just be, I love those movies as well. But
Yeah.
Meg, you kind of binged it yesterday. I didn't really like Sylvie at first, the Loki variant, female variant. She grew on me. I do like her now. But were you a little bit put off that this was a female Loki in terms of all the other ones were kind of male?
No, I'm glad that they had a female variant because I know that Loki in like the comics universe is like he's had many different forms, whether it's a different form of gender or just even the way they look. I enjoyed that they had at least one female Loki variant. Which I think it could be interesting if like they continue with the variant thing for the different heroes. If there's obviously What If is going to show Peggy Carter as getting the super soldier serum, which would be I'm really excited for What If.
Me too.
But no, I think that I liked Sylvie. Like I said, I was seeing spoilers throughout the timeline, so I didn't get like I don't want to say unbiased, but it's the only word I can think of. I guess a clear mind when I was watching it, so like I already kind of knew what she was about, at least from seeing pictures and like gifs on the timeline. So no, I thought it was really cool, and I feel like it brought a really cool dynamic also to our timelines, Loki, like going through, and I feel like she really challenged him in a way that he hasn't been challenged before.
I agree.
Yeah, their acting, especially Tom Hiddleston, brilliant. He's fantastic. And I'm a big Owen Wilson stan, so I think his Mobius character and all, like movie show history, he's just brilliant. I love him so much, and kind of has his own kind of side mission with Ravonna, and like Ravonna, she knows that she's been lied to, but she thinks it's for a purpose. She doesn't want to believe that it was all a lie just for the sake of it. She thinks that there's some deeper meaning to it, and that's where she's probably going off. She leaves in this episode. In the comics, she became kind of a love interest with Kang, so maybe she goes to the Kang that we're going to see in Ant-Man 3 and maybe future projects. Maybe they kind of get together as love interests, or maybe a power couple, maybe something like that. But we got to see her kind of in 2018 as a principal, and then the other kind of TVA members see her as a variant because they're led to believe that the timekeepers created them. They're not variants, and that was kind of a interesting thing to see. But Meg, do you like Mobius, Owen Wilson? Are you a big fan of that character?
Yeah, no, I love Owen Wilson as well. I think his character in the show was him and Loki played so well off of each other. And I love what I really loved about Mobius was just that he like just wanted to do the right thing, even if like it messed up what he thought his entire life was. Like he was ready to just believe Loki, which is kind of crazy if you think about it, because Loki obviously is known to be mischievous. But no, I loved his character and how, like I said, he just wants to do the right thing, and the whole free will thing I think is something really cool that this
Yeah.
show played on, battling between free will or keeping the timeline tidy and in order, but are people is it worth lying to people, and I think that wants free will over having a clean timeline.
Yeah.
Dictatorship, free will,
And
and
also we have season 2, so they are I'm also glad that
Yeah.
at the end they didn't destroy or close down the TVA and it still exists.
Hmm.
So obviously we're seeing more of that in season 2 because I thought that was a very cool place to hang out and have stories being told in. So I'm glad that that didn't happen, and we're gonna see more of that in the next season.
I feel like the next season's gonna come out sooner than we think.
Yeah,
I don't know why, but I just feel like I feel like, especially because I know that there's some stuff that they filmed that didn't end
yeah,
up in the show. Um, so I feel like it could definitely come out sooner than we think.
yeah,
yeah, there was a few scenes from the trailers of kind of Loki, King Loki, didn't make it. Now, those scenes, I've seen shows do that before. They kind of shoot scenes for trailers and marketing to kind of put fans off.
Yeah,
Uh,
Marvel's done that a lot.
yeah, and even just from being a Walking Dead fan, they've done that a lot with trailers. You know, they've shot scenes and never made it to the final episodes, or the way they edited the trailer made you believe one thing, but it was different.
Hmm.
But yeah, those scenes like those scenes are filmed, so they could pop up. That could be a Doctor Strange multiverse scene. That could be
Yeah.
Spider-Man scene. It could be a season 2 scene. So I don't. Yeah, I think we could definitely see it at some stage. So it's going to be interesting. And like I like how this was kind of a side story to Spider-Man 3 and Doctor Strange 2, the multiverse madness. You know, it's
yeah,
kind of interesting side story with it. So and it definitely ties into it. I think you should watch this season. You know, I
yeah,
think it helps your enjoyment maybe of the movies that's to come because it definitely explains the multiverse pretty well.
yeah,
Yeah, I
absolutely.
think this show out of all of them is the one you really need to watch, if
Yeah,
you're gonna watch any of them. For me though, I feel like on enjoyment level, I feel like Falcon and the Winter Soldier is still my favorite out of the three. It'd probably go Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki, and then WandaVision. I loved WandaVision at the beginning, but the I don't
yeah,
know, just the way they ended it. Really, I was just like, what? Okay. I think it's cool to see her turn into the Scarlet Witch finally, but yeah, no, I feel like Loki. This The ending of Loki and Falcon and Winter Soldier are really just they were amazing.
Yeah, I don't. Kevin Feige he said that that major is going to happen in the MCU shows. You know, but then like that. So you take that mentality for one division. You're like, oh, Doctor Strange didn't show up. Okay, maybe that's why, or maybe there was no big reveal of Mephisto. It's not going to happen or anything like
Yeah.
the Disney Plus shows. And then watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it's its own kind of contained thing. No other heroes pop in or out or villains. But then you watch Loki and you have Jonathan Majors just in a costume chilling eating an apple, and you're like, really? You can bring in Kang and have Doctor Strange cameo and stuff like that. But yeah, I just difference between the two, and I think that's why Marvel is superior, and Loki proved that again. And it's just a really, really good show.
yeah.
I'd like to ask you guys, what's your ranking of the three MCU shows so far?
Um, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki, and WandaVision.
For me, it would
Yeah,
be
it's
Loki first, and then I think WandaVision is second because I liked WandaVision. I liked more episodes of WandaVision than Falcon Winter Soldier. So I'll
Mm.
keep that on second and then Falcon third. Although I liked all three of them, except the finales of WandaVision and Falcon Winter Soldier. And, the finale for Loki was amazing. So that's more consistent.
I like to rewatch them without kind of my fan theory hat on, and I want this to happen and stuff like that. But the one I've enjoyed the most is probably the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I just really like the theme of or the story points of racism with
Me too.
Sam Wilson, and also PTSD element with Bucky. I really enjoyed the storytelling element there. I thought I just think it was really, really well done. And so far, probably Loki second, and then WandaVision. But yeah, we're getting the season 2 for this, and I think if WandaVision had a season 2, or Falcon and Winter Soldier had a season 2, the finale would have been maybe better executed, or we might not be too hard on it because there's a season 2 coming. Loki still has a lot of questions to answer.
Yeah.
And if this was just the season finale, if this was just the end of it, we were talking about kind of our disappointment, how they didn't answer this and that. And this doesn't make sense. But now that a season 2 is coming, we're kind of a little bit giving it leeway. We're like, oh, it's okay, we got season 2, they'll answer some of those questions, hopefully, in that season. So I think that's got a lot to do with it as well. That's why I don't want to be too harsh on WandaVision. So their finale.
Yeah. And also, all of them had the pandemic to go through, so that
True.
also kind of made it difficult. Not that it was bad, but it certainly, lacked in some parts. So we can just blame that on the pandemic.
I do think that Loki is the most beautiful looking show. It's just
Yes.
Me too.
really,
Yes.
that opening sequence are so good as well. Like the visual effects teams for these shows are just, they're heroes. Like
Even the lighting.
Snyder Cut. Yeah, it's just brilliant.
There's just
I
no
really
need
enjoy it.
for this colorful lighting in certain scenes, but they still have it. I really
Mhm.
appreciated that.
So do we think that Kang will be a complete and utter kind of, I don't want, what's the right word? I was going to say like dick, but just like a really, really bad villain when he pops up in that Man 3 or as a different variant? Do you think he's going to be even worse than Thanos or those types of villains that we've seen?
I think so, yeah. I feel like he'll be like just as bad as Thanos for sure.
I don't know anything about the character's power set, so I don't know how physically terrifying he would be. But I think he also has a point, to like just like Thanos, he had his point, which is why he was doing that. So I think he
Mhm.
will also have that, and that would make him very compelling as a character, for sure. And obviously, he's very powerful. He has the control of time. He's from the future, so he knows what's going to happen. So, and probably he'll also have a team of Kangs, not just one. I think they'll change that a
Yeah.
little bit. So that would be cool, but I don't know exactly what his power set is. Like, can he
Me
grow
either.
huge? Can he pick stuff up his mind? I don't know. Stuff like that could really, because Ant-Man is pretty powerful, right? Um, and also there's Wasp, so there's two really powerful superheroes there, and Kang has to be really powerful in order for them to take them down with some difficulty.
Mm-hmm. It's funny when you look up King the Conqueror on, I just Googled it, and so many pictures of Jonathan Majors. So
You
cool.
go, our Marvel.
Yeah, that's really awesome, and I would love to see that. I wasn't that interested in Quantum Mania because basically I didn't know anything about it. Firstly, and secondly, I didn't like the last one. But I
Same.
really really liked the first one. I thought it's really surprised me. That movie and Guardians 1 were the two times when I was kind of doubting, because those are really hard projects to pull off, right? And once those movies were amazing, I was like, now Marvel can do literally anything. They can literally do anything when they make an Ant-Man movie and
Yeah.
and a movie with a talking raccoon and a talking tree. So,
Okay, you ready for his powers?
yes.
Okay, it says abilities: time travel, genius level intellect, skilled tactician and hand-to-hand combat, resistant to radiation, access to advanced technology, highly advanced battle armor that grants enhanced strength, energy, hologram, and force field projection, 30
Oh,
day supply of food and air. That's interesting.
in the suit?
Ability Yeah, so that's what his armor grants, and also
Wow.
ability to control other forms of technology. And his last ability is a will swapping ray gun.
Oh, so he has
Yeah,
weapons.
yeah,
Cool.
that'd be interesting to see someone use a ray gun in the MCU.
Yep.
He's
That's cool. So, like, basically, his armor is really what
Yeah.
uh, gives him his like strength and stuff.
And they made Mysterio really, technological as well. So
Yeah,
they can only go up from there.
his kind of like his screen presence and his freedom and his acting kind of reminded me of Lex Luthor or Jesse Eisenberg in a way. Just how he combines the scene and
Yeah.
he kind of steals screen time. So yeah, that's cool. A tactician, probably a genius and stuff like that. Yeah, it would be awesome to see. Now I'm looking forward to seeing him pop up again.
I saw someone say that he would be a really good at playing the Joker, which I kind of agree with because he was like his whole scene was like, I don't know, he was just really good
Yeah.
at being like you can tell that he's not like a good guy, but like he isn't acting like he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
I don't know, it was really interesting.
Yeah, and was
Well,
really surprising to me because I thought that would be a serious role. I saw him in Lovecraft Country, obviously, and then
Me too.
The Five Bloods. So both of those were serious roles, So I was really surprised seeing him pull off this, comedic range and all that. Very charismatic.
Yeah, he was perfect. I was surprised that he wasn't because I know Kang isn't he like blue and purple?
Yeah.
Like yeah. I mean, I'm glad that they didn't like paint him blue and kept his like natural skin. I feel like that was great.
I don't
But
know if
yeah, I
that's
was
his skin color or the visor for his helmet.
oh maybe I like you. I don't know anything about
Yeah,
Kang.
me neither.
So, it'll be interesting though to watch a Marvel film and not really know, or like these shows and not really know anything about the bad guy because
Yep.
the first parts of the MCU is Thanos, and Thanos is like a really obvious. Most people know who Thanos is, so I think it's going to be interesting to kind of learn as we go with this character.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're taking it kind of granted as well because Thanos was this big menacing CGI character that sat on a throne in space on a planet. We're like, he's pretty serious. And then you have this guy eating an apple. So I think he's going to surprise a few. And when he pops up again, I think Jonathan Majors will kind of portray him in a different way because it's a different variant, maybe a lot more brutal and stuff like that. So when he pops up and kills somebody straight away or does something terrible, we're going to be like, oh my God, this guy was so much fun before, but now he's baddie. So it's
Yeah.
going to be interesting to see that. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But the only part I didn't like in this episode was there was no when he died. There was no kind of blood or no kind of just
That was
Yeah.
obvious. That wouldn't
They just
happen.
stabbed him, and that was it. Yeah.
oh I'm gone.
And just to make that
Mhm.
interesting, Sylvie had to do all that shit, pulling
Yeah,
back,
I
and
know.
I think we'll get a
expected.
mirror image storyline. I Thor blame himself for not going for the head with Thanos. I
Yeah.
think we could still be blaming ourselves for killing Kang and causing this kind of destruction in a way, maybe because Lokis are very what's the word? They're guilty.
Emotional.
They get emotional stuff like that. So I think that could probably weigh on her big time, and she's probably going off some timeline to be alone now after what happened.
I think it's going to be interesting to see how they explain the multiverse in like the next few movies too, because I remember with Ant-Man and the Wasp, it was the whole quantum realm thing.
Yeah.
That was like, oh, okay, cool. That's they're going to use that in the next few movies, and I loved how they had Scott come in and explain it in Endgame. So I'm curious to see how or who is going to explain it in these next few movies, because I feel like it's kind of the same, not the same thing exactly, but I think it's similar in the context there.
I hope Andrew Garfield does because he's such a nerd.
Smart. Yes, I hope so too.
That would be awesome.
I feel like it'll probably be Doctor Strange explaining it to Peter or something.
Yeah. I think Peter will mess up something. I think he'll mess up. I think he'll just some rumors that he might go against Doctor Strange, but I think because he gets kind of blamed a lot and stuff. He just messes up. I think he'll do something that he's not supposed to. Which would be kind of funny
Probably.
and kind of cute as well. This kind of young guy doing this, messing up the timelines or messing up something and fix it. And yeah, it'll be